stranded at tertiary hospitals. On the foreign scene, dozens of possible cases of mpox emerges among refugees and displaced people in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Details of these and more we come to you shortly. Do stay with us. And now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu will travel to China by the first week of September 2024 to perfect some business plans that will encourage development in the country. According to the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, the trip will afford President Tinubu an opportunity to meet with the Prime Minister Xi Jinping, where bilateral matters will be discussed. President Tinubu would also meet with the management of China's construction giant, the Chinese Rail Construction Company, with a view to concluding contract terms for the Ibadan to Abuja rail project. The presidential spokesman, who addressed State House correspondents on Tuesday at the presidential villa, also explained that the trip will attract all the foreign direct investment for Nigeria, especially in the areas of agriculture, power, commerce, communications, where several MOUs will be signed.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will depart. His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will depart for the People's Republic of China, most specifically Beijing, from the nation's capital within the first week of September to engage in a series of meetings and activities with immediate and future benefit to the Nigerian economy and the Nigerian people.
The Benue Fashion Hub, promised to be established within 90 days by the federal government, has been commissioned by the Vice President Kashim Shettima. The business fashion hub is expected to create about 48,000 jobs annually when fully operational in the state, will boost the micro, small and medium enterprises, which is the backbone of Nigeria's economy. The Vice President, who was represented by Senator Ibrahim Hadija, the Deputy Chief of Staff to the President and the Vice President's office, made this known during the commissioning ceremony of the Benue Fashion Hub in Makurdi, the Benue State capital, where he called for the promotion of MSMEs. Governor Yassine Alia, who thanked President Bola Tinubu for the initiative, says this will significantly contribute to the economy of the state and boost its growth and development.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration has provided interventions like the Benue Fashion Hub and other hubs established across the nation. This hub has the capacity to ramp up production, provide ICT training, and achieve economies of scale. It is also equipped to produce a wide range of fashion items, and including military uniforms, school uniforms, and corporate wear, both for Benue State and beyond.
We are not only expanding the labor market, but also supporting the skills required. I make bold to say that the future of our dear state is not just hinged on agriculture that can be anchored on industrialization, leveraging on the abundant talents that are available in the state.
And this is also in line with the industrialization agenda of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Nigeria, as you know, is home to more than 40 million micro enterprises. Most of them are adding and contributing to the development of Nigeria, driving job creation, rural industrialization and innovation, and significantly adding and supporting the national development agenda of His Excellency.
Shortly after the commissioning, the team later proceeded to commission the Benue Printing and Publishing Company. The federal government has inaugurated the Conversion Incentive Program of the Compressed Natural Gas Initiative in Abeokuta, Ogun State. The initiative seeks to offer relief to the masses due to the hardship caused by the removal of the fuel subsidy, which has caused socio-economic hardship across the country. Speaking at the program launch in Abeokuta, the state capital, the chief executive and program director of the presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, Michael Oluwagbemi, said this has become imperative in order to effectively utilize the gas abundance in 30 of the 36 states of the Federation for economic recovery and growth.
Primarily a gas field. The field in Nasarawa State, primarily a gas field. Everywhere in Nigeria is a gas field. Why should then this country depend on a product whose price and whose sellability is not determined by Nigeria?
With this initiative launched in the state, major transporters will enjoy free conversion of the vehicles, as the state governor Dapo Abiodun, represented by his special advisor on energy Jide Onokoya, described the program as a game changer for Ogun State.
Of Ogun State by being able to convert from higher expensive fuels like gasoline or petrol and diesel to a cheaper, cleaner burning fuel like gas can only help the people of Ogun State. We're going to reduce pollution by a significant amount, reducing the particulates of nitrous oxides and CO that goes into the atmosphere from our roads can be reduced by a significant amount to improve the lives of the people. And then furthermore, in this state and the economy, the cheaper fuel does help with people's pockets and the ability to get transport and get from A to B. So it helps commerce and the state in general.
Speaking immediately after the program, the chief executive of the Presidential Initiative on CNG said a memorandum of understanding has been signed with 4 major conversion centers in the state towards cheap and clean energy.
It's conversion center partners like the one that hosted us today, and we signed up 4 of them here in Ogun State today, which made the 60th conversion center we've signed up across Nigeria for the program, now activated in 7 states. The idea is that these conversion centers will get the conversion kits that the Federal Ministry of Finance have purchased for free, and that they will be sent members of NURTW, NATO, Raytheon, other commercial drivers, including boat drivers and Uber drivers, rideshare drivers. They will be able to bring their vehicles here on nomination to be converted for free. We'll pay for the installation, and we also provide the kits for free.
Following the nationwide industrial action embarked by the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors on Monday in response to the prolonged abduction of one of their colleagues, Dr. Kaniat Popola of the National Eye Center, Kaduna. The strike, which began at 12 a.m., was declared by NAT's National Executive Council (NEC) following an emergency meeting held to address their situation. Galaxy TV bosun Yakusak, who monitored the compliance of the strike in Kaduna, observed that most doctors were not on seat as patients were left stranded with only consultants delivering skeletal services.
We are pleading to the government to please answer the doctors. At least we are heavy, we are pregnant, and we need attention, so that we not come to labor at any time emergency. There is no doctor, so we don't know how to go through it. So you should please assist and intervene in their problem. Let's give them a listening ear to understand their cry and do the needful thing.
The doctor should have to come to work because people need them. If they are sitting at home, people will not happy with them because they are rescuing their people's life.
Pleading too, they should please attend to them too, for the sake of those that are pregnant and other people that have illness, so there won't be any disaster.
The head of Clinical Services, Federal Medical Center, Abeokuta, is seeking the understanding and cooperation of patients while the warning strike lasts. These became imperative just as the 7-day warning strike imposed by the Association of Resident Doctors enters its second day. As monitored at the federal government health facility, the doctors have withdrawn their services across departments, leaving nurses and consultants attending to residents who have come to seek medical attention. The HCS, however, appealed to the federal government and security operatives for improved security situation across hospitals and the country at large.
And the actions that follow of the resident doctors is understandable. However, it is unfortunate that innocent Nigerian citizens, law-abiding citizens, our teeming patients are being made to suffer unduly. I can only appeal to the federal government and the entire security apparatus to do everything within their powers to make sure that this innocent doctor is released unarmed.
Nigerian youth have been called upon to support the policies and programs of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led administration as the reforms and transformation being undertaken by the government are designed to make life more meaningful for Nigerians. Minister of Power Adebayo Adelabu particularly charged the youth of the ruling All Progressive Congress to rise up in defense of the government at all times as the party owns the government of the day. The minister spoke when he received the national youth leader of the APC, Dr. Dayo Israel, who visited him in his office in Abuja to brief him on the proposed youth summit of the party that will hold from September 3rd to 5th in Abuja. While speaking about the policies and programs of the government, Adelabu used the avenue to educate the youth about what President Tinubu is doing to get the country out of its present predicament. According to the minister, Nigeria has suffered from bad governance over the years, and efforts to change the narrative will certainly not be an easy one, but it must be done in order for Nigeria to advance in development like all the developed nations of the world. You're still on to Galaxy Primetime News, and coming up next. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited begins shipment of liquefied natural gas cargoes to Japan and China. Details of these and more will come to you shortly. Do stay with us. Well, glad to have you back. Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTVNews. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. You can also avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp if you have breaking news around you. Simply share a story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818-666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live update and comments. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has begun shipment of liquefied natural gas cargoes to Japan and China on delivered ex-ship basis. Olufemi Shoneye, Chief Corporate Communications Officer, NNPC Limited, quoted Shegun Dakpo, the Executive President, Downstream NNPC Limited, as saying this in a statement in Abuja. Dakpo was quoted as saying that the development was in line with the company's strategic vision to be a reliable global energy supplier. The delivered ex-ship is an international commercial term that requires the seller to deliver the product or goods at a specific port. The seller takes responsibility for the shipping and insurance for the product or goods until they get to the specified port of delivery. It requires expertise and a higher level of efficiency to execute than the free on-board system. He also quoted Dakpo as saying that the NNPC Limited achieved the milestone in collaboration with two of its downstream subsidiaries. He listed the subsidiaries as NNPC LNG Limited and NNPC Shipping Limited. He said it delivered its first day's LNG cargo from the 174,000 LNG vessel Grazina at Foods, Japan on June 27, 2024. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission (FCCPC) has been advised to investigate the importation of the blended crude oil by Matrix Oil, alleged violation of international sanctions on Russian oil. The Center for Accountability and Transparency at a news conference in Abuja also called on the National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency to assess the environmental impact of the tainted oil product. The group alleged that it imported adulterated petroleum products from Malta, resulting in a $2.8 billion bill for Nigeria in 2023 alone. Dan added that the company's action violates international sanctions on Russian crude oil, which could lead to diplomatic crisis for Nigeria. The convener of the center, Okwa Dan, claimed action has led to economic sabotage, environmental pollution, and health risk to Nigerians. The group also alleged that the oil products imported from Malta by his company are also dirty on the ethical level because it is the product of the violation of international sanctions imposed on Russia to deter it from waging an unjust war on a sovereign nation, Ukraine, which it invaded.
At the Center for Accountability and Transparency, urged Matrix Energy Limited and the CEO to toe the path of honor and give up the detailed list of his collaborators and their modus operandi, instead of bluffing with litigation and trying to guard the press. Not even the military junta of old were able to repress every vibrant Nigerian press.
The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has expressed deep concern over the recent flooding in Sabon Gari local government area of Kaduna State, describing the incident as a tragedy. The flood, which occurred on Monday in the Kogin Mata and Tudun Munsira Chikagi area of Sabon Gari, was triggered by heavy rainfall. The deluge caused significant property damage and displaced numerous residents. In a statement by his media aide Musa Kirshi on Tuesday, Abbas sympathized with the flood victims and expressed sorrow that such a devastating event struck at a time when people are striving to sustain their livelihoods. He also lamented a low turnout of Nigerians for the hunger. Abbas called for urgent intervention to provide relief to those affected and urged residents to remain calm as the government works to elevate their sufferings. Speaker Abbas Tajuddin also advised residents of the affected and surrounding areas to take precautionary measures and follow guidance from relevant authorities regarding flood risk. Additionally, he called for coordinating efforts to tackle the broader issue of flooding across the country. Ahead of the September 21st governorship election in Edo State, Yaga Africa, which is a non-governmental organization saddled with the responsibility of monitoring elections, have commenced the training of journalists and civil society organizations. The training, which took place in Benin City, the Edo State capital, brought together journalists within and outside the state with the main objective of objective reportage. Correspondent Dele Fason completes the story.
The training workshop, which is centered on a good working relationship between the media, CSOs, and the election monitoring group, also created an avenue in exchanging views regarding the September 24th governorship election in Edo State. The program director, Yaga Africa, Paul James, and the NUJ chairman in Edo State stressed on the importance.
For all this is important because we want to assess the pulse of stakeholders in the state ahead of the September 21st governorship election. We also thought the meeting was important for us at Yaga because we want to build this relationship that can help in our collaboration towards promoting the electoral democracy of the state. While there are some concerns that were raised based on the conversation, I thought they were not in the light that they were painted, especially for some of us that are coming into town from other states.
It's our hope that we have a very transparent, peaceful, and successful election in Edo State. Unlike what we hear in some states, ballot box snatching and attacks in polling centers and all, we really do not envisage that here. But as journalists, it's our responsibility to ensure adequate coverage of the election before, during, and after the election.
The resource person spoke on the essence of the workshop, which, according to him, is to sensitize CSOs and journalists on the modalities for monitoring and reporting elections.
The message is to sensitize them on the activities of Yaga, to tell them how we monitor the election, how we observe the elections, how we report the elections, and then how we forecast the election, how we also determine at the end of the day whether the election is fair and free. So that when the results eventually come out, we are in a position to tell you.
The first meeting I had with Yaga, it was a good one, and coming back here today is a good one. And so far, what I've learned so far is the past year training was different from this one, and because of the issues we have on these elections, and they were able to deal with those areas, and which I know this election is going to be free and fair.
From Benin City, Edo State, Daily Fason reporting for Galaxy TV News.
First Lady Senator Oluremi Tinubu has called for the enactment and enforcement of stiffer laws and punishments for perpetrators of rape, sexual abuse, and other forms of gender-based violence. She made the call at the first Gender and Social Norms Summit organized by the United Nations Population Fund in collaboration with her office. Correspondent Inabuchi Ukenabuchi sent in this report.
The First Lady noted that the summit provides a common platform, especially for stakeholders, including wives of state governors, to create awareness, exchange lessons learned, and promote effective strategies for preventing and responding to GBV and other harmful practices. She said Nigeria must also develop state-specific action plans and promote the allocation of adequate resources in government budget to support gender equality initiatives and GBV prevention programs. She decried the increased spate of rape cases and gender-based violence, which she described as alarming, and calling on the law enforcement agencies, the Inspector General of Police, the Attorney General of the Federation, and Chairman of the National Assembly, who is the Senate President, to appropriate and enforce stiffer laws and punishment to perpetrators of rape, sexual abuse, and other forms of gender-based violence.
This summit provides us with a common platform to create awareness, exchange lessons learned, and promote effective strategies for preventing and responding to GBV and harmful practices. We must also develop state-specific action plans and promote the allocation of adequate resources in government budgets to support gender equality initiatives and GBV prevention programs.
In their remarks, the Minister of Education, Attorney General, Minister of Justice, Women Affairs and Youth were all in support of ramping of awareness and ensuring that perpetrators do not go unpunished. They noted that with improved education on the part of the girl child, youth improvement and women empowerment amongst others, there will be a significant reduction, if not total eradication of the harmful practices.
Here in Nigeria, when you have connection or before you know it, it dies a natural death, and we forget so easily. So on this note, to support this honorable thing the UNFP and the First Lady did today, we, the Ministry of Women Affairs, will move further to make sure there will be consequences if you commit such crime. We don't only have female genital mutilation, we have money marriage, where they use babies to loan money from old men and give out the babies to them. It is happening live and direct.
Girls are much more vulnerable than the boys. So the environment they need is far better than what ordinarily boys can cope with in terms of hygiene, environment for instance, and also safety. Schools have to be close to them. And when in school, they have to learn the right things, the right values. The right values have to be there in the suitable curriculum for them to be taken through. And furthermore, they need to be protected also when in school, because they are also vulnerable to bullying and some other acts of violence in schools, which are very common in schools.
The UNFPA Gender FGM analyst Karima Bungudu, while presenting the work of the UNFPA in Nigeria based on situation analysis, pointed out that nearly 1 in 3 Nigerian women have experienced some form of gender-based violence, including women with disabilities, who are the most susceptible and vulnerable ones. The prevalence of harmful practices such as female genital mutilation, child marriage, which in most cases lead to vesico-vaginal fistula (VVF) and other forms of violence against girls and women, remain unacceptably high. The highlight of the event, which had in attendance wives of state governors, state commissioners of affairs and health, traditional rulers and other stakeholders, was the signing of the impact of commitment by the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, and wives of state governors, reaffirming their determination to end GBV and other harmful practices in their state.
The Chairman Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, Dr. Musa Aliyu, says he will try his best to tackle challenges of corruption in Nigeria. Aliyu made the pledge on Tuesday in Ibadan while addressing newsmen shortly after he led a delegation of the Commission on a condolence visit to Oyo State Government over the demise of the former chairman of the Commission, late Justice Emmanuel Ayola. According to the ICPC boss, the Commission has 3 mandates: law enforcement, issues of prevention and enlightenment, whereby they try to see how the challenges of corruption can be tackled. He said the Commission under his leadership had already set up machinery on how it would fight corruption, and that the Commission had recorded progress in the last 8 months he assumed office. In his condolence remarks, the ICPC chairman described late Justice Ayola as one of the best lawyers in Nigeria, saying the deceased laid a good foundation for the ICPC and will continue to follow his footsteps in moving the country forward.
The ICPC, we have what we call systems and study review, whereby we try to look at where are the loopholes to block them. And we did a lot. We recovered a lot of money, and also we blocked leakages. One area where we're doing great is the area of ghost workers, whereby we are trying to see that we read the payroll of the federal government of ghost workers, and we have done so much in that area. And also, if you can recall, another area where I focus is the issue of sexual harassment.
Various state governments made argument that what will be the need of ICPC when we have various criminal codes across Nigeria? In the southern part of Nigeria, criminal code; in the northern part of Nigeria, they have their own code. So what's ICPC coming to do? But in the wisdom of the Supreme Court justices, then they decided that ICPC will complement the fight against corruption.
The Niger State Police Command says it has uncovered a large cache of explosive devices, including bombs and improvised explosive devices buried in multiple locations in the state. Although an investigation is going on to unravel the sources of the explosive device, they are suspected to have been concealed by terrorists and bandits who have been wreaking havoc in several local governments in the state. Some of the local governments where these devices were uncovered include Galadima Kogo in Shiroro local government area, Mutundaya in Munia local government, and the Giganu area of Mina. The command spokesman Wasiu Abiodun, who released a statement on the development on Tuesday, said the findings were the handwork of counter-insurgency operations conducted from 2021 to 2023 and collaborative effort involving the police and other security agencies in the state. Abiodun revealed that the explosives were neutralized on August 22, 2024 at a site located behind Zuma Rock in Suleja under the supervision of SP Mohammed Mamun, the officer in charge of the Edo CBRN Explosive Ordnance Disposal, Chemical, Biological Radiation and Nuclear Units of the command. We'll now quickly go on a break, and when we return, the news continues. To stay with us, we'll be right back. Well, glad to have you back, and now to carry the rest of the stories. As part of efforts to improve the armed forces of the country, the International Committee of the Red Cross have signed a memorandum of understanding with the Nigerian Defense Academy. Through the signing up of an MOU, the NDA became the first ever institution of the Armed Forces of Nigeria to enter into an agreement with the ICRC in training cadet of the institution, especially on international law best practices. Galaxy TV Bulls and Yakusak sent this report from Kaduna State.
As the premier training institution for military officers in Nigeria, the NDA is best placed to build the right knowledge and reflex for officers of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, with over a century of experience working in the field of international humanitarian law, inspired by its unique mandate as a custodian of these laws unilaterally given to it by the international community. The ICRC is uniquely positioned to help parties to our various international human law treaties to translate these laws into actual practice in the field and promote its respect. The Commandant Nigerian Defense Academy, Major General John Ochai, through his vision and quest for improving the military institution, has again demonstrated his competence with the partnership and signing of an MOU with ICRC. Both parties agree that it is common knowledge that warfare, as we knew it years ago, has evolved considerably, with the protection of human rights becoming a top priority for international communities and better ways the military can conduct the operation among the civilian population. The team leader of ICRC, Yan Bonzon, says the next 5 years the ICRC will deploy its best resources to escort the integration process within the NDA, and hopefully this will open a new vista in the operational history of the Armed Forces of Nigeria.
Are more and more leaving their traditional peace, the battlefield, to conduct their operations among civilian population and civilian objects. Moreover, asymmetric warfare has led to more unconventional tactics being adopted by belligerents.
The Commandant NDA Major General John Ochai, represented by his Deputy Air Vice Marshal Sunday Aneke, reiterated that warfare has changed over the years from their time at the Academy, and contemporary issues requires new method of warfare because it is this challenging environment young officers from the NDA will be confronted with soon after decommissioning into the Nigerian Armed Forces.
New path to a greater partnership with the ICRC. The Nigerian Defense Academy being the cradle where the distinguished and professional officers are produced, thought it wise with the vision of the Commandant Major General Chai to partner with the ICRC, which we have been doing the last 2 decades. You agree with me that the world is evolving and we have new set of security challenges, and we need to equip the cadets with all the skills they need to survive in the current environment we find ourselves.
For these newly soon-to-be commissioned officers and their troops to be able to conduct their military duties within the ambits of the law, they need to understand not only the text and purpose of the law, but also how these laws are translated into actual practices in the field. This knowledge will help both the commanders and their troops to develop operational plans that will help them limit the damages that comes with military operations.
In his visionary leadership, deemed it necessary for us to start the training of the international humanitarian law at this level for 2 main reasons. One, the state or the nature of conflicts these days has become more of, has had an increasing participation of non-state actors where the violations of IHL has increased.
The process of aligning the letters of the law with practice in the field is what the ICRC refers to as integration, and there is no better place to build the right reflexes for soldiers than during training. Starting this week, the ICRC will conduct a 3-day symposium on international human law, which will culminate in a tactical exercise with our troops.
It is no news that there are various challenges that pose a threat to effective service delivery from one government agency to another, and indeed the general public. However, to overcome these challenges, Servicom, in collaboration with the House of Representatives Committee on Intergovernmental Affairs, has organized a 3-day national conference in Ibadan with a theme promoting excellent service delivery in the public sector. The National Coordinator and Chief Executive Officer, Servicom, Inena Ajemili, explained that the conference was predicated on the continuous drive towards attaining a collective dream of a better nation and burning desire to engage stakeholders to discuss strategies for improved public sector performance. In her goodwill message, Special Assistant to the President on Monitoring and Delivering Youth Initiative, Titilope Gbadamusi, identified quality service delivery as a cardinal point of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led administration, which seeks to make life more rewarding for her citizenry. Other speakers at the event urged participants to use the opportunity presented by the conference to drive positive change and innovation and raise the bar of excellence in public service delivery.
Is strategically organized to engage the service providers across ministries, departments and agencies. Again, on the sustained drive towards excellence is to bring to the fore issues around our service delivery, the challenges, the bottlenecks, the pitfalls, and to also highlight those areas, innovative thinking that we're going to bring forward to help us unearth and remove the bottlenecks and then further strengthen the service providers.
To understand that the business of government is not just the politicians who are, office holders, but also civil servants, those who in different ministries, departments and agencies who are the, are the implementing levels of these policies. And so it's important for all Nigerians to be carried along in an excellent manner, and that is what we are here to talk about.
We have objectives and goals that we should deliver to the people. And our interest is that there should be optimum service delivery so that the people could be satisfied. We've been going to places and we know that most times we are frustrated because of the nature, how services are being delivered. What informs the committee to partner with our consultants to see how we could further enhance service delivery to our people.
And I'll move over to the foreign desk for more news.
This is news from the international scene. Dozens of possible cases of the viral disease Mpox have emerged among refugees and displaced people in the east part of the Democratic Republic of Congo. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, is deeply concerned because it is hard to reach those affected. In addition, the cramped condition facing many refugees means it is difficult to keep physical distance from one another in order to prevent the virus from spreading. UNHCR Health Officer Alan Maina spoke of some 40 suspected cases. There are hundreds of thousands of refugees and displaced people in the region. Experts believe the new variant, which has been spreading rapidly in parts of Central Africa, is likely more contagious than previous strains and can cause a more severe infection. However, Mpox is generally not easily transmitted, with direct contact needed for spread. The World Health Organization has declared Mpox a public health emergency of international concern and has not ruled out the possibility of it spreading beyond African countries. The United Nations have been forced to halt its aid operations in Gaza due to Israel's new evacuation orders for Deir el-Balah in the central Gaza Strip, a senior UN official said. UN officials noted that the UN had relocated its main command operations for the Gaza Strip and most UN personnel to Deir el-Balah after Israel ordered the evacuation of Rafah in southern Gaza in May. Speaking after the official briefing, UN spokesperson Stephanie Dujarric clarified that UNRWA, the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, is able to continue to operate because it is embedded within the population, and the issue being described by the official is a transfer of aid across the Palestinian enclave. The situation has become very difficult for the UN with the repeated evacuation orders from the Israeli army in central Gaza pending UN humanitarian aid operations. The top officials said they are pushing the limit of their own risk assessment. The officials said they have 90 staff who have been moved to safety houses in Al-Mawasi. Their 140 international staff are scrambling to find houses, while some are having to sleep in their cars. Police have fired tear gas and water cannons and used batons to break up protest over the rape and murder of a trainee doctor in the eastern Indian city of Kolkata. Protesting university students led the crowd in breaking through a barricade set up by security forces to demand the resignation of West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, the state top elected official for her handling of the case. Some schools and workplaces have given people the day off in anticipation of the protest blocking traffic, local media reported. 4 student activists were arrested ahead of the rally, police said, accusing them of trying to orchestrate large-scale violence. One police volunteer has been arrested for the crime, while the doctor's family is alleged that it was a case of gang rape and more men were involved. An autopsy confirmed sexual assault. Protests have rocked Kolkata as well as cities across the country, demanding justice and a swift investigation, monitoring similar widespread demonstrations after the 2012 gang rape of a 23-year-old student on a moving bus in New Delhi. Doctors in several cities launched strikes over the crime that cut off non-essential services, although medical professionals have since returned to work. Still on the international scene, 3 men have been arrested over the stabbing of a 32-year-old mother who the Metropolitan Police believe was caught up in a fight between 2 groups of men at Notting Hill Carnival. The Met said the woman, who was with her child at the time of the attack at the West London event, remains in a critical condition, fighting for her life in hospital. One of the men, aged 20, was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder and violent disorder. The other, aged 24 and 22, were arrested on suspicion of violent disorder. All 3 remain in custody. The force said the woman had gone to the carnival with a young child to have fun, but initial inquiries suggest the woman got caught up in the middle of an altercation between 2 groups of men. It added investigators were not clear if she knew the men. China threatened Canada with countermeasures after Ottawa announced on Monday that it will levy a 100% tariff on import of electric cars from China starting on October 1st. Beijing accused Ottawa of violating the World Trade Organization rules and said this move is typical trade protectionism and a politically motivated decision. It said the Canadian government is acting against its own citizens' interest in the interest of tackling climate change. The Canadian move mirrors that of the U.S. government, which imposed additional tariff on 100% on electric cars from China in May. The risk concerning the United States, Canada and Europe that cheap Chinese electric vehicles will flood the market and drive local manufacturers and suppliers out of business. They have argued that Chinese firms benefit from a government-imposed policy of overcapacity and lacks a standard for the protection of workers and the environment. It is virtually impossible to buy a Chinese electric car in the United States and Canada. Lastly, on the international scene, Jake Sullivan has been welcomed to China on his first visit as U.S. National Security Advisor. He will hold talks with Foreign Minister Wang Yi as the two countries try to stabilize relations. Sullivan and Wang have met 4 times over 16 months in Vienna, Malta, Washington and Bangkok. The last meeting in January was shortly after a IC summit between President Xi Jinping and Joe Biden that sought to reset forestry ties. This week talks signal that China is still a priority for the Biden's administration, even as the retiring president enters his final month in office. Both Sullivan and Wang have already acknowledged the need to find common ground after disagreement between their nations. And that's it from the international scene.
And up next is entertainment news.
Welcome to Entertainment News. My name is Rose Blossom Mwe. Here is the full report.
It is the 13th wedding anniversary of beloved Nollywood actress Mercy Johnson Okoje and her husband Prince Odi Okoje. Keeping her anniversary message short and simple, Mercy, who stated that she was short of words, expressed gratitude to her maker. Sharing a video of the family over the years, she noted how it has been 13 years with so much memories. Prince Okoje also shared a photo of him and his wife. As a question what more he could say, he appreciated his maker for 13 blissful years with his wife. Nollywood actress and new mom Debbie Shokoya has penned a heartfelt note to the public following the birth of her first child, a baby girl, 1 year after losing pregnancy. Sharing a photo of her and her husband, she stated that they are overwhelmed with joy and gratitude for the warm wishes, calls, messages and social media posts they shared with them on the arrival of their precious baby. She stated that their love and support meant the world to them during their special time. She further expressed how blessed they are to have such amazing people in their lives. The excited mom stated that she and her husband look forward to sharing more beautiful moments with them in the coming days. Afrobeat singer Davido announces the release date for his highly anticipated collaboration with Grammy-winning artist Ajala Kijo on his social media pages. The singer penned his excitement about working with the legendary Beninese French singer-songwriter on their new song Joy, dropping on Friday, August 30th. Nigerian businessman Cubana chief priest has given flowers to award-winning Afrobeat singer Chinedu Okoli, better known by stage name Flavor. On his Instagram page, Cubana described Flavor's sold-out London show as a legendary night, which he considered a moment for the culture. He expressed how proud he was of how much Flavor had exported the expensive and amazing Igbo culture to the world.
And that'll be all on Entertainment News today. Thank you for watching. My name is Rose Blossom Mwe. Bye for now.
Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect to us on our X handle as Galaxy TV, subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Galaxy TV News. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. You can also avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. If you have breaking news around you, simply share a story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 018-666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live update and comment. And that's all we have on Galaxy Primetime News. Thank you so much for being a part of the news. My name is Nanwarangi Mazaka. Goodbye.